edge is a non-defined word. Everybody uses edge in different ways and forms. So I would like to have a little bit of understanding on how everybody's vision is on what edge actually is for each other. JT, I know you have been in the industry for a while, and I know edge has been part of the SVTA as well. So can I start off with you as the first one?
Absolutely. Yeah, just for me and for the SVTA, I think the edge is really, the definition of the edge is really dependent upon the use case. So, in media, obviously, you can do lots of things that are quote unquote on the edge of the network that improve latency, that obviously improve time to first byte and things like that. So there are both workflow applications like encoding, right? Move that out further, get things encoded or transcoded quicker. And then there's also viewer experience things, right? So caching, right? Get content out deeper, closer to the user. Again, reduce that latency, reduce that time to first byte. Have a better viewing experience. So, for us, really, the edge is it's a moving target, right? So it can be at the edge of the physical network and the peering fabric. It can be, at the tower for the mobile and at the end of the RAN. It can actually be down in the home, right? Right next to the devices, or even on the device itself. So I know that's kind of an amorphous definition of edge, but it really just sort of follows the use case of where the edge of your network for that use case is.
Thanks. Kevin, coming from an AWS perspective, what's your vision on what the edge is?
Yeah, I can agree with most of what Jason said. Before we talk about edge, I want to talk about CDN in a very simplistic way. A CDN, to me, is a service that accelerates internet content delivery. That's very basic definition. And the purpose of CDN service is to securely deliver that content. The content can be static, such as data, video, applications, or it could be dynamic, such as APIs. Now you might say, like in stream media, most of our assets static, but I think we're evolving to a dynamic content as well. There's a lot of interactivity going on. There's a lot of streaming data queries and involve changing of API as well. And all of those that require very low latency and high transfer speed to eliminate and reduce the infamous circle, right? The buffering. So I think there are three main points to the edge service. Number one is to help customers to improve the overall experience by leveraging a global backbone infrastructure and all the edge nodes to the point of presence. The edge, like Jason defined, could be as close as to the end user as possible. And number two is to improve security posture by not exposing the origin to the end customer. It can alleviate our origin servers from getting DDoS attacks and other web exploits. And number three is to reduce the data cost of transfer. So instead of going directly out to the internet in traditional on-prem data center, the customer can offload the demand from their origin, so saving the scaling and transfer costs in the process.
Thanks, Kevin. Talking about security, John, can you dive a little bit further than that from your point of view?
That tends to always be our buzzword. And to us, it really is that point of either user interaction or where that content becomes, or where that distribution point becomes relative to the user or consumer. As Jason mentioned, it could be variable based on where it is. Our focus really is, how do we secure that? He mentioned a couple different references. 5G is a good one. What do we do for security at that node, at the wireless radio point? Or is it encrypted on the end user device? And is security the primary focus for that end user? Today, most of the focus, most of the actual direction is in CDN based. So we're pushing that content way out to the edge. And what we're here to do is help people secure it there and then provide a secure delivery mechanism to the end user, being the ultimate goal, all of ours, right? So for that delivery. And just the last point would be to pivot off of what Kevin said, there is more and more bi-directional, which brings in a new element of interaction. So as users are doing short form video or that type of interaction, we see an even increased need for not only availability and speed, but reliability, integrity check on those end users and on the devices. So pretty complex, but I'll leave it at that because like you said, it's a long definition.
you.